You're doing a job. You're working your ass off. You're doing everything and way, way more, and you know it. And somebody does something that is so disruptive, so annoying, so hallway monitory around you that affects you. And your ADHD brain starts to ruminate on that, and you start to lose your composure and your control over time with this person who seems to be on repeat and have it out for you. My name's Jeremy. I'm a longtime therapist and a coach, and I help you in your high achieving endeavors to focus, even if you've got ADHD and you're working on that focus. So let's get into emotional regulation and ADHD. Emotional regulation is about controlling your response to things that happen around you. When you have ADHD, it's not just about inattention. It's not just about hyperactivity. You have some issues with your executive functions, and that means that you can rush really quickly into anger. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for executive functioning. It functions differently in individuals with ADHD, making it harder to pause, reflect, and choose appropriate emotional responses. This means that we have a tendency to get really upset, to get really offended, to get really angry at patterns that we absolutely see. Oftentimes, what the difficulty can be is that we're functioning at generally a high IQ state. We're running really quickly and something is trying to slow us down, or we recognize the pattern that one particular person keeps popping up, or a particular group of people keeps popping up and standing in our way with the efficiency that we're trying to enact. And we're moving so quickly and honestly, sometimes so impulsively that the slowdown can create a lot of friction. And we tend to go into the anger space a whole lot quicker than any of us would really like to. Sometimes those of us with ADHD have problems with working memory. We have a hard time retaining specific things and have to be reminded of things. That means sometimes we end up missing context when something happens. And when we're missing context, we don't understand why something is happening. And that can be really, really frustrating because we go, God, why is this happening again? Why is this thing continuing to come up? Because there's maybe parts of it that we're not remembering properly, or are misremembering, or not remembering at all. That can change the way that we decide how to make our reaction to certain things. We are highly reactive at times, and it may be very intense, and we can have strong reactions to emotional triggers. Things that we've experienced in the past, things that we remember happening a long time ago that may have some echo to something happening right now. And that lack of working memory, difficulty with executive functioning can get us 1,000 miles an hour into the reaction that we really, really don't want to have. And some people with ADHD experience heightened emotional sensitivity. There's something called rejection sensitivity dysphoria. And that's something that ADHD people often kind of suffer with a great deal, where there's been so many rejections through the years that when something happens where maybe something is asking you to slow down, maybe somebody told on you at work over something that wasn't in any way meant to be offensive or wrong or out of procedure or anything like that, but somebody told on you, and those old pieces of rejection, they come back and they hit you, and you go immediately from like a 0 to 100, because that rejection sensitivity is something that you've had to deal with since you started first grade. It goes back a really long time, and there's a piece of you that's pretty darn tired of it, particularly when it comes from somebody that you see as a low performer. So there are several practical strategies that can help you along the way. The faster we fly, the harder it is for us to regulate on the other end of everything. And so that we're not kind of going a little bit crazy when we're not getting what it is that we feel like we should be getting out of something. I know this is talked about a lot, but this is for you. Mindfulness and meditation. It's going to slow you down. It's going to take that huge tornado of different pieces and it's going to shove it right back in to you so that you are integrated as a holistic being. And that you're not just responding like whack-a-mole to all sorts of different stuff that just comes up in front of you. You're actually pushing yourself into yourself. If you need to do this for 4 minutes, several times a day, then do it. It's going to help you start to slow down and have a little bit more empathy for the things that are happening around you. There's also another thing called cognitive restructuring, and it's questioning the way that you are thinking about something. Let's just say something terrible happens to you and it's unjustified. The thing is awful. Maybe at work you got in trouble. Let's just say that you got a performance improvement plan. It's a whole nother thing. And you're on it now. The question isn't, these people did me wrong. I'm going to play the long game here and I'm going to figure out how to get back. The question is, honestly, what can I learn from this? The question is this really the right company for me? The question is, do these people actually understand what it is that I need in the workplace? Because if I'm on a PIP, it's kind of feeling like maybe they don't understand what it is that I need in a workplace. What can I learn from what is going on around me in my life? Also, the other thing is your specific and grounded time management. Right now in my day, I have it mapped out that I'm making a video about ADHD. And my next hour and a half is mapped out on a Google Calendar about exactly what it is that I'm doing in that period of time. These pieces of organization, as well as my clean desk, it makes me feel more in control of my life, of my time, when I'm going to walk the dog, and when I'm going to be working uninterrupted so that I can experience that flow in an organized space. And I don't have to get distracted by different things and start unraveling. I have control over my day. Also, physical activity and having a healthy lifestyle, it's so important. Garbage in, garbage out. If you're eating nonsense and you're not exercising, your brain is not getting the kind of nutrients that it needs. This is so important. It's as important as deciding that you're going to take some kind of medicine that is going to help you in this thing that you're dealing with attention. Also, seeking professional support. Therapists are great for this sort of thing. I'm a therapist and a coach. I help you structure your life. I help you do all of these things, learn about the way that you think, and understand why maybe you've been repeating some of the same mistakes over and over and over in your life. Because trust me, I understand. I've lived this. And getting that kind of support and that kind of accountability in your life can really help. Also, how long has it been since you had somebody in your corner all the time, feeding you actual truth, not blowing smoke at you, and helping you as your advocate get to the next stages in your life? How long's it been? And I'll tell you a little bit about the way that this has affected me in my life. I have been in leadership at a number of different companies. And one of the things that I honestly kind of failed to recognize at times was that people weren't telling me the truth about things. I would take things on face value and I would run with those things. And sometimes they would be people who didn't have my best interest in mind. And sometimes I would be rolling so fast that I wouldn't slow down to consider where this piece of information came from. Of course, you always learn when somebody's been blowing smoke at you, but you also have to react to that. And if you get caught up in being upset about that for too long, you're distracted from going where it is that you need to go. So your tendency is going to be taking pieces of information so quickly and not properly integrating them, making a decision to roll really quickly into the next thing. The name of the game for you is going to be able to slow down and think about what's being told to you, whether or not it's truth or whether or not something is not good for you. So all in all, one of the most important things for you to recognize is that if you have ADHD, you have the tendency to be overly emotionally reactive. You have the tendency to become more angry than you need to be and hold on to it for longer than you need to hold on to it. You have the tendency to become emotionally reactive to things that you could otherwise learn from and integrate. And that if you take all of that chaos and push it down into you, now you have your incredible IQ, you have your ability to process things and see patterns, and you're inside yourself instead of just reacting like whack-a-mole to all this different stuff that's coming up. You're special. And you have a mind that works at a frequency that is really, really useful. And once you get a hold of that, the amount of things that you can create and accomplish in a short period of time, it's really remarkable, and you can be unstoppable. So if you're interested in talking with me, honestly, I'd really love to chat with you about the things that you're dealing with and ways in which you are maybe struggling with some of these things. Please go to mindfulmutiny.com and sign up for a consultation with me. I'd love to have a conversation with you by phone, see if there's some way in which I can support you, because maybe there's some things that have been happening in your life that have been holding you back. And so, best of luck to you. Please subscribe to my channel and go be something great.